Hey everybody, Coach Michael here. I'm doing an Insomnia Insight number 373, and I want to talk about a couple of terms that describe two different states that a person can be in at night. And they are awake and alert, and they're different. And I want to talk about the difference between the two. Um, Awake, literally, it is the definition is not asleep. That is literally the definition of being awake. So it's the opposite of being asleep. Everyone kind of knows that. It's just simply the other thing that you can be. You can either be awake or you can be asleep. So if you're not asleep, you are awake. Um, Alert, on the other hand, I looked this up. This is I think the Google definition. Quick to notice any unusual and potentially dangerous or difficult circumstances. So that's a difference. That's more than being awake, right? That's like awareness, that's potential threats, that's evaluating the situation, quick to notice. So alert is different than awake, okay? Becoming awake at night is normal. And you may have heard that on this channel. I talk about this sometimes. That it's normal for people to wake up more times than they realize during the night. So it's not a problem if you find yourself awake at night. It's actually normal. Everyone finds themselves awake once in a while at night. And it's not a problem. It's actually a sign of something that's normal. Right? And so awake is normal. Awake at night is normal. Frequently becoming alert at night, however, is a learned response. So wake happens first, but then some people sometimes become alert. And if you remember that go back to that definition a couple screens ago, quick to notice any unusual and potentially dangerous or difficult circumstances. So this is clearly a term that describes someone whose brain perceives being awake at night not as normal, but as a threat, as a problem, as something that needs to be remedied. It's like fight or flight. It's the growling dog. It's the danger. It's the thing that needs focus on to solve. And that can be really problematic because that is really what happens when someone has insomnia. They wake up as normal, but then they quickly become alert. Sometimes it's seen in the beginning of the night when someone falls asleep, say watching TV on the couch or something, and then they go to bed and they become alert very quickly. So that's a learned response. It's born out of the person giving the brain the experience of the frustration and anxiety and all that concern with trying to sleep. So once again, there we go, back to the core foundation of overcoming insomnia, which is trying to sleep makes sleep more elusive. So a person who repeatedly tries to force themselves to sleep or back to sleep for long stretches of time, night after night, their brain is simply just taking it all in and coming to the conclusion that being awake at night is something that is a problem. And so the brain becomes alert very quickly after a normal awakening during the night. Okay, it kind of takes that next step, and it can happen very quickly when someone has a lot of insomnia going on, when it's really a significant problem. So the good news is that even though alertness, frequently becoming alert, being a learned response, everything we teach in the sleep coach school is in one way or another kind of designed to unlearn that response to being to be that response to nighttime wakefulness, so the response of becoming alert. So the purpose of sleeping better is not necessarily to wake up like a lot fewer times or for a lot shorter times. That's not really how insomnia is resolved. It's resolved by the way that your brain perceives being awake at night. And what happens is if you can learn to befriend wakefulness through education, um, good coaching, all of that, all of the things that we teach at the school, then the brain starts to learn that being awake at night it's not a problem. It's not a threat. And so then what happens is a person starts to actually become awake less during the night. So it's kind of that paradox of sleep, right? The less you try, the easier it is. The more you try, the more elusive it is. So the sleep coach school, that's what we do. We teach people how to teach other people how to get to that point. We call that NADO, that not attached to the outcome state. And it can take a little while, but it's really the difference between awake and alertness, right? Wakefulness and alertness. Wakefulness at night is normal. Alertness at night is a learned response. And so I just kind of like to point out those two terms. I kind of like to learn kind of the core definition of terms, and they can be really insightful. So that's something that these two terms are very important when it comes to learning about sleep and learning good ways to become a better sleeper. And I think it's really helpful to learn those two terms. So if you are interested in becoming part of the sleep coaching revolution, we have a place for you, and that is the sleepcoachschool.com. We have a great community there, people learning to sleep better, people learning how to help other people sleep better. Coach Daniel and I are very involved with the students, and it's a wonderful environment, and I encourage you to check it out. All right, that's it for now. Just want to share a few comments. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you later on. Bye-bye.